Hello. There we go.
Think and break the habit of being yourself. So what is it that's going on in your life that you don't like? That's your habits, right? Your habits are how come you keep getting the same results. And so we're just going to bring to you a old concept, which is think about what you want. And we're Rita and Tammy, we're brain trainers. And the reason that the brain training part is so potent for me is that it means it gives me the details on how to do that. So Rita, how do we think to get what we want?
Oh, this is so exciting. For me, for a long time, I was stuck. I mean, just stuck. And it's, so for me, it's like, okay. And I couldn't interrupt it. I couldn't break that habit. I had spurts. I had little things that I couldn't do it. But, I think what was so magical about this brain training and the modality that we do is that, that at the right timing, with the right techniques, that I was able to break that thinking habit. And because I was able to break the habit of how I was thinking, because what I held inside by my old memories as a little kid and the imagery that I had about myself and the belief I had about myself and the perspective I had about myself, that it was this loop.
Right.
So when you talked about the filter part, becoming conscious, becoming aware. So think and break the habit of being yourself has now become easier, faster, quicker. Like you can change the physiology of your body, bam, quick. So I don't think I answered your question because it's just, there's a process, right? There is a process that you can do it. And you can do it. We have a link down below that has the stop technique. And that's how I started, by stopping what I was thinking and knowing what I do want to think. I want to be free. I want to be free to be happy at any circumstances with any person at any time, right? Before I had rules. I had rules. You can't be happy if this happens. And if this circumstance, you can't be happy there. And so that thinking, that mindset, that model of the world was what we call the lower model of the world. And now we work from the upper model of the world. So there's a lot of wealth.
Exactly. I was just going to say, your story implements this process lovely. And it also, I guess the biggest thing I want to say is, like, what we're thinking about most of the time is what we don't want. And that's what we had to stop. And both of us felt that way. We were just like, and this is the process that, Paul talks about in the Bible. Like, how come my flesh keeps doing this? This is the process that, people that are traumatized keep, like, I just want to stop thinking about that person, or I want to stop thinking about that event. But your brain, this is why the brain is so powerful. The brain won't let you. And there are reasons it won't let you. And there are resources. And you do need to update those resources, because it's a computer. And if your computer is playing 2 + 2 = 6, even though it's wrong and it's not true, even though you don't feel worthy, you are worthy. But if this incidence and this incidence equals you're unworthy, it's going to keep giving you that answer. So let's update it. So 2 + 2 = 4. So it's true. So you can believe about yourself that you're worthy to think and have everything that you desire. And that's good and healthy and beneficial. And what is beneficial for you is beneficial for everyone.
Right.
That's how it works. Our very cell works in the same way as our human body. And the human body works in the same way as the world. If it's good for the cell, it's good for your body. If it's good for your body, it's good for others. And that's how we benefit. And by changing our thoughts, everyone is lifted up, is elevated, right?
Yeah. And I think this is the power of neuroplasticity. This is the power of memory reconsolidation. This is the power of behavioral engineering. This is the power of your conscious awareness. See, we're already doing it. A lot of people are doing it. They're doing it in different formats, in different modalities, yep, in different belief systems. They're doing it, but there's something that was missing. I think it was the knowledge, and to realize that you are empowered, to realize and to understand and to know that you have the power within you. I've got the power.
That's right.
Because look, the lower model of the world says they're doing it to me. We were born to a family with parents, and they did the best they could with the skill sets that they had. And we learned from them, and we created an identity from them. And now we're thinking, this is it. I'm done. This is as good as it gets. It's not true. You can get more. You can have more. You can feel more. There's a lot to this, to give yourself that freedom. So think and be free. Free to create, free to have.
That's right.
It's amazing.
The number one question, and I know that this happens for Rita too, one of the questions we ask people is, what do you want? And the answer is always, well, I don't want this, and I don't want that. And that's just, we kind of chuckle at it, because we know that that's how you're wired. You're wired to focus on what you don't want. And so if that's where you're at in life, and you're like, you don't even know what you want, and you're looking at this and you're like, think and what is it? Be a different habit. Think and
break the habit
of being you. And you're just like, but all I know is what I don't want. Then the quick thing that can really help is to just, what is the opposite of that? So if you're like, I don't want to be stressed anymore. Okay. So what is the opposite of stress?
Yeah.
That's one way that you can start to direct your brain. And then just quickly ask some questions like, when do I feel? Okay. So the opposite of stress for me is free. So when do I feel free? When I'm looking at the ocean, when I'm outside walking in the woods. So then do that for yourself. And those things that stop you from doing that for yourself are the things that you use the stop technique for.
Yep. That's a very, very great idea, guys, because that's going to keep it basic. It's not, right now, maybe you're sitting here listening to this being overwhelmed and it's like, what are you talking about? How, what? And it's just your brain trying to rearrange that information because it's brand new. To keep playing this over and over, right, and listen to it. And, each word, each thing means something, and you're making it mean, and you have resources in your brain that is giving the meaning. So write the opposite. And maybe today's the day where you do opposite everything, everything opposite. Think opposite.
Oh, that'll break your habit of being you.
Think opposite, brush your hair with the opposite.
Exactly.
Because look, you're going to become conscious. You're going to be conscious of where, and normally what do you tell your kid? No, don't do that. Don't get hurt. Don't, be careful. We think we're being kind and loving by telling other people to be careful. We're not. We're brain training them to be afraid, or to cater to your fears. So now you have your kids have to live under your fear. And so this is deep. So anyways, do the opposite. Hey, look at you. I can see you're on top of that table about to take a jump. I wonder what would happen, if you land on your 2 feet, whatever. Do the opposite. You normally yell at your partner, your spouse, like, I don't want to get up. So this time say, look, I'm excited about getting up. True, not true. It doesn't matter. You're doing the opposite.
Right.
You're doing.
Yes. I love that. That's just like that's the the nuts and bolts of breaking the habit of being you. And if you don't like your results, you know that you can keep doing the same thing and you'll be 100 and you'll still have the same sensations and the same feelings and you'll wish. But if you're ready to take that leap and live a life so when you're 100, you look back and you're like, I am so glad I did that, then start here.
Yeah. Don't take the elevator, guys. Take that 50, take the steps, the stairs, take the stairs. Yeah.
Right.
Instead of parking your car in the first parking lot, park it in the last one, just because you can, and walk
Yeah.
all the way. I mean, really, like, intentionally do the opposite, and do more of it, like just more of it, 10 times more excited. Oh, how about that one? I like that one. We
I
have,
do too.
yeah. So whatever it is that you do, that you're doing, even if you're getting out of bed, do something different, do the opposite.
Crawl out on the other side. Roll over your partner if there's one there. Crawl out on the other side of bed. I mean, why is that statement like I got out on the wrong side of the bed? Get over. Roll over. Do it on the other side. Like, give your brain a different experience, and your brain will start to look for those things. And that's how it's wired. It's wired to do a pattern. So if that pattern is leaving you feeling desiring of something else, go do it.
Yeah.
Go do it. Awesome. Well, this was fun.
Yes. We're going to be
always
fun. Yeah, it is always fun. And it's because you get to create. This is how we get to create. We get to do something different. When you are intentional and you are purposeful and you have an end game. The end game today is do the opposite.
Yep.
If you normally have breakfast, don't have breakfast, right? Like, just do the opposite. Close the day with dinner only. I mean, whatever. It's just, you can be creative. And I would love to see what your opposite
yes,
was.
Inspire us, inspire others, because there are others looking for ideas. Like some of the things that I was thinking of, like, oh, when the kids leave their shoes here, or the husband doesn't pick this up, or these things, and how I get crabby. Well, what if I got happy? What if I started like, yes, there's shoes in my house? Because you know what? Most of my kids are gone, and there is a part of me that does wish I appreciated that more. So one of the things for me today is, if there's a mess, I'm going to be like, yay, there's a mess, yay. And
totally. And what happens?
Happen to be me.
What happens, like, into my brain when you're saying that, because this is what's going to happen to your brain, is that you're going to start looking for ways of appreciating that, because you are. How lucky are you to have a partner and to have a child? Some people don't have that, and will never have that, or can't have that, or some people, like you said,
are lost that.
Aging out.
Exactly.
So, yeah. And your brain.
So write it below and inspire the rest of us with your stories, and maybe do it with a friend, do it with somebody else that you're like, gosh, you want to try this today? Like, let's see what happens, and let us know. All right, great. Well, today you are worth it. Do it for yourself. Your own physical body deserves these good thoughts, deserves this change, and your life matters. You are worth it. So like, subscribe, share, and make sure you click the notifications. We will inspire you tomorrow.